Hi there. Good day. Welcome to 30 Minutes of My Day. I'm Catherine. For those of you who are new here, let's get my timer started so I don't go on for too long. I'm going to do something today that some of you may say, Catherine, lighten up. It's not that bad, but it's driving me crazy. Let me grab it. I'm dropping things over here. This one, let me tilt my camera just a little bit. There, that's better. All right, so I'm not happy with this cover. So let me sit down and I'll show you. So I think I explained earlier, I can't remember. Sometimes I just talk to myself and then I can't remember whether I was talking to you guys or whether I was just talking to myself. Of these 4 books, some had very pronounced curves on their to their spine, and some were quite flat. And this one in particular, I should have noticed better because it's not very curved. It's quite flat. And, but I created the little art painting plate to put onto this spine, and I set it on my my rolling pin. And I thought that I had flattened it out a bit better because this ended up being too curved for what this spine was. And so when I did apply it to the spine, let me stand up and see if you can tell. It flattened it out, and I don't like, do you see where it has slowly wrinkled this piece, even to the point where that wrinkle is a bit, the paper has sort of split and cracked a bit there. Now, some people might not mind those wrinkles, and I could camouflage that with a bit of Distress ink, but it would bug me. I'm hoping you can see these wrinkles. There's one right on her face. There's one in her hair here, and I feel like it's got to come off and I need to put a new one on. She was not meant to be, and that's okay. So I thought I'd bring you along. I still have my template for the size I want to use, but this shouldn't be too difficult. I glued her down with 3-in-1, and that actually on covers should lift pretty well if I encourage it with a knife to remove it. It should do okay. So let's take these out first, the little brads. We should be able to use those again. So I hope you're doing well. Thank you to everyone for your, yeah, that's nice, for your very, very kind and enthusiastic comments to my video from Friday with the announcement too that it's basically just changing the name of my channel. Let's see if I can lift it just with these, or whether I need a knife. Nope, that's going to pop up. Beautiful. I just appreciate, not only were you supportive, but you bunch, you were enthusiastically supportive. And I gotta tell you, I was smiling all day, and I didn't know. Part of me was thinking, oh, Catherine, what are you doing this for? It's just a little YouTube channel. But it was really weighing on my mind because it so much so that it was affecting how I felt about the work I do. And that's when I thought, no, I've got to do this. I got to do it now before, who knows? Maybe someday I would end up with 30,000 subscribers. Who knows? I doubt it. I am an odd little channel, and I know that. I don't do very many tutorials. I tend to simply invite you to my desk and watch while I work and listen to me chatter on. It seems to be an odd little fit that some of you get, and some others, rightly so, they move along till they find a channel that's a good fit for them. So, but I do recognize this one's a little different. My style's a little different. Anyhow, I back to what I was saying. Thank you so much. My goodness, I felt like I could hear your applause and your whooping right through my screen, reading your words. If you haven't already gone over to my new Instagram address, because I wanted to save my Sunnyside Journals Instagram address simply because I have so many photos there of previous work. So I'm basically treating it as if it's archived. So it's still there. And sorry, this is sticking. Right there in the center. So it's good to know it wasn't going to go anywhere. Here we go. Now it's coming up. So if you want to, the link is down below for my new... There we go. All right. You know what? I'm wondering if I could use her for something else and tuck her in somewhere. Maybe make her into a tuck spot inside the book so that she'll still have a place. This is going to work fine. Yeah, so... If you haven't already done so, go on over, subscribe. I'll tell you what I'm doing, because I don't want to pester anyone. If you've got a private account on Instagram, I'm just going to leave you be. But if you don't have a private account, if you actually are also posting your own things that you're sharing with the Instagram world, I will subscribe. And if I haven't already done so, pester me and just say, hey, do you want to subscribe to me? Because I will. I love the inspiration that I receive on Instagram. On Instagram, direct message me in the chats. And just say, hey, there we go. Hey, subscribe to my channel. And I will. There we go. Ooh, I was a little bit worried. There was a little bit of... A little bit of the gold gilding wax that I'd put on these edges was on here, but it seems to be fine. Fortunately, gilding wax can be encouraged to just slough off with a brush. All right, so the next thing I need to do here, so that actually came off better than I was anticipating. So now what we've got to do is, I'm just making sure I can get more of this off so that the next time I glue the new one on, that it has plenty of surface area that's a good secure surface area and not temperamental like paper stuck on. There we go. There we go. It doesn't need to be too much because I will be putting the brads back in. And the brads, they're really the insurance policy. All right, I'm going to move this aside. And I'm going to show you, I still haven't firmly decided. It's up between two paintings. Here's the books. Are they upside down? They're upside down. So, alrighty, there we go. All right, so one of them is a Modigliani of his common law wife, Jeanne Duterne? Hebuterne. This one here, I rather like her. She's looking very demure. Modigliani is quite famous for his unusual eyes that he would give the people in his paintings. And there is this, I don't know whether it's rumored or whether it's confirmed, that he said, once you have shown me basically in what's inside your soul, then I can paint your eyes. And he did eventually. There are paintings of Jeanne with actual eyes rather than just these spaces where the eyes should be. But this is his signature kind of portrait that he did. Now this one is an artist that I hadn't heard of, but I rather like her. Now how have they pronounced this again? Ang. Because it's French, the R-E-S is sort of just alluded to with the tongue. The title of this is Odalisque, and it's what he imagined a woman in a harem would demurely lay about within her room, with the swathes of silk tapestries and that. And I rather like the way she's demurely looking over her shoulder. And I'm really leaning towards her over Modigliani's. She looks a little more wild than Jeanne does. Plus, now that I know Jeanne's sad ending to life, it makes me sad. She committed suicide the day after. Modigliani died quite young, in his early 30s. He was sick all his life. And she was expecting their second child, and the day after he died, apparently she threw herself out of a 5th-story window. She was so distraught over his death. So that also makes me hesitate. I don't like having a sad book. So I think we're going to put this beautiful, demure young lady seeing as it is Wild Women. Well, they're not necessarily wild. I'm just calling it that. They're just women who know their minds. That's the way I think of it. But society might consider that they're wild. Or at least previous societies might. Especially a young lady in a harem. Okay, so I'm going to need file folders. There we go. This is one that I ended up not being used in a book. I trimmed it down to use. Didn't get used, so here we go. Now I'm going to give myself a bit more room so that I can slowly shave her down to whatever size it is that I want. Oh. Yeah, that'll work. Nope. Let's bring you up a bit. So we had a lot of snow yesterday, enough that I had to get the snow blower out. But it was light and fluffy, and I must say, I do enjoy playing with my snowblower. Alright, let's just go down there. I'll save this. I might find ways to put it back into the book. Right. This doesn't need to be exact because I'll be a little more precise. I'm going to give myself a bit more room. I'll be a little more precise when I trim her down to the size that I want for the spine. There we go. Alright, so let's just get going on this. I don't know if any of you who have not ventured yet into trying to make your first journal out of an old book, but I've got to tell you, if you don't already subscribe to her, go over to Nick the Booksmith's channel. I'll put the link down here. She, I guess it was 2 days ago, put up a tutorial on her channel of how to do it. A basic one. And for the most part, it's how I do mine. There are some things I do differently. It's just out of preference, but it's a very good tutorial. And if you've been sort of thinking in the back of your head, gee, I found this old book at the thrift store. I want to give it a try. You should go over and watch it. And seriously, go to the thrift store, buy a cheap old book, and give it a go. It gets easier after the first one, and it gets really fun. As you can tell, some of us get addicted to it. This is not the best craft knife, and I should have known. It was like a package of 3 at Dollar Tree. But I've got it now, so it is what it is. I'm just going to use scissors. These don't need to be precise, because I'm still going to trim them. So with the other ones, I did 3 layers of file folder cardstock, because I wanted there to be a little bit of dimension to it on the spine. I wanted it to be quite noticeable rather than just a piece of paper that was glued on. I wanted it to be like a plate. All right, so I am still going to use 3-in-1 to hold it together because I still do want a slight curve, but I don't want such a pronounced curve as what I did with this poor unfortunate lady. I'm going to be a little more gentle this time. Yeah, so Nick's tutorial, you'll see that you can do it. You can do it. And she's a very good, thorough teacher. You can just pause it, do what you need to do, start it up again, pause it, follow what she directs, and you'll get it done. There we go. So I'm doing, I'm using the 3-in-1, as I said, so that I have the option of giving it a bit of a curve, but also because I do want this smooth, and you do run a bit of a risk if you're using a water-based glue that you could get some buckling. This is not buckling. This is literally that it was curved and smoothed, and as I was trying to force it flat, these wrinkles occurred. The other three didn't do that. The other three are wonderful, and that's why this poor young lady, it was just, it was nagging at me. It's just the way my brain works with what I do here with this. I wouldn't have felt right. I couldn't have sent her off to fulfill her destiny knowing that I was unhappy. Oh my goodness. You're going to say, where have you been, Catherine? Well, obviously I have been away from modern world for a little while, a few years. I have just discovered The Marvelous Mrs. Maisel. I know, I can hear you gasping through the screen there. Yes, I just discovered The Marvelous Mrs. Maisel. And I've been laughing my head off. Oh my goodness, what a cast of talented people. I am astounded at how good it is, how well done, everything. And I know, I've always known I'm an old soul. My husband's constantly saying that I was born in the wrong era. And he's right, in a way. Because so far, I'm into the second season, and so far, every single episode, I know every single song, and I sing along with it. Every single one. I haven't had one yet where I've said, oh, that's a new one. No. I know the song, and I also know the words. Part of that's my dad's fault. Credit, my dad's credit. I'm just trying to decide. Yeah, that needs to come off. I give credit to my dad for that. It's not his fault. It's to his great good teaching, exposing me to all that music. My dad on the weekends was a DJ for weddings and various organizations like the University of Toronto Graduates Club. He used to do, they'd have dances once a month. The Toronto Yacht Club, he was their DJ. He had a standing commitment to the Toronto Yacht Club, that sort of thing. And because of that, this was back when you had to literally have all your records set up. I believe he had 3 turntables that he worked with so that you could drop one and lift up one and be getting the next one ready so that there was never a break in your music. It's quite easy now for DJs. It's all computerized, but back then it was quite an amount of timing involved. Okay, this is good. To be a DJ back then. But it also meant that he was constantly, the radio was going so that he could hear new music because, the good oldies, yes, they're always still played, even to this day. But the up and coming good songs, he had to be aware of them and make sure that, if they seemed like a danceable kind of song, that he had the record and that he was familiar with it, that he could do a little intro. This next song will be by Tony Orlando and Dawn. And then we'd be hearing, oh, Candida. I still remember when he brought that one home from work because he used to go to Sam the Record Man's shop on his break at lunch from his regular job and go over and get new records to be able to play at he'd heard it on the radio on the drive into work and knew that he was going to need it for his dance coming up that Saturday night. Anyhow, Long story short. They're always long stories, aren't they? They're never short. It exposed me to just a lot of music, and I'm glad. And I love all those old songs way better than most of the new stuff I'm hearing now. But my heart, I think most people do that, you know. Even now, somebody who's born in the 90s, that's the music their heart's going to long to go back to. Your heart goes back to happy times when it hears those musics. Okay, now I'm just going to softly, rather than strap her onto my dowel, that sounds risque, I'm just going to slowly just give her a little bit of a curve so that she will be happy on her new home. Actually, this is it says it's from the French school. So that worked out well because she's going on to the French dictionary. Well done. And that actually looks like enough of a curve for this one. All right, just give it a little bit more. We're having soup for dinner with crusty bread. I love when I know what's going to be for dinner. Oh yeah. She's going to be good. I love the scarf in her hair, and she's got jewels in her hair as well. And there's just a little subtle risque, but you don't see anything. You just see the little slight curve and her beautiful back, her spine. I watched a whole video on this painting because I was looking at the painting and I thought, she looks a little contorted. Here's the rest of her. This knee does not look like it could properly attach to her hip. That's the first thing I noticed. I thought, gee, that looks strange. And this part of her arm looked too long for this part of her arm. But then when there's so many educational videos on YouTube with various people's opinions on masterpiece paintings. And it explained that, yeah, the artist really was just having fun with his talent and what he was good at and what he wanted to see and what he didn't care about whether it was accurate or not, because he wanted to paint what he wanted to paint. And isn't that nice? Apparently this painting in real life, it's in the Louvre. You cannot see a brush stroke. It was just, he painted so delicately that in real life, it's just all, he just created her onto canvas without brush strokes showing. Beautiful. All right, you're looking good, Lady Jane. Or whatever your name is. Obelisk. Apparently obelisk means harem. I don't know that for sure. I'm trying to recall everything I learned about it when I was going through the books and trying to decide which one. No way 30 minutes is up. Are you kidding me? Well, we're going to go long today. Going long. Hear that? All right, I'm going to give myself reset. Let's do another 10 minutes. All right, I think that's good to go. I think we can start trimming this down. But I have to decide. I'm going to get my better blade out. I have to decide where I want her centered. I got itchy chin. Who would have thought? There we go. I'm just going to push that edge down. A little bit. Okay. A little bit. All right, so I still want this the same size. Let me make sure. Let me just make sure. Yep. Yep, that's what I need. All right. Okay. Now I gotta decide. I do want most of her scarf. Yeah, I think I want that. All right. I can do it down here. I gotta tell you, I'm starting to have a hankering to go to my Kirby Church book sale. I gotta tell you, it's calling to me. There we go. But I think we've still got February. Probably another month. Probably another month to go. This doesn't need to be too precise because I will be sanding the edges down. And I can make any adjust if it's slightly curved. I was going to say adjustments and then my knife moved. I can sand down to be more precise if there's a slight curve, because like my knife jumped a little bit there. I was a little enthusiastic. All right, and where is that one? There it is. There. All right, let's go. Good. Sometimes the knife can leave a little lip, so I'm just pushing that lip back down. Now, to save myself a little bit of time of vigorous sanding, I snip those corners off because I don't want them. I don't want a sharp corner. I want a softened corner. Not necessarily overly rounded, I just like to soften the corner so it's not pointy. So I snip it off first, and then sand block, and I round it. And then I take that sharp edge off. If this was going to be, for example, this is the exact same way I make my Two Nanas bookmarks. And if this was going to be a Two Nanas bookmark, I would sand both sides. But because this side is going to be glued to the book, I won't. This edge side, there's no need. But I do want this one. I do want it to be a softened edge. Makes it, gives it a little more finished look. It would take a lot more work to take that sharp pointy corner off to get it to that curve than to simply snip it a little bit and smooth it out. And I just run the sand block right off the edge. And it's nice. And then I'm happy. Hold on, it's all dusty. I'm gonna wipe it on my pant leg. I've got my overalls on today, so it doesn't matter. I just had a delightful FaceTime call from my little granddaughter, Audrey. Boy, she warms my heart. I'm playing hockey. Do you want to come and watch me play? Sure. So Tuesday I'm going to watch her play. I bet that is, I bet that's you know who. It is. All right. Come on. Yeah, that's walnut. Okay. So, because it's thicker, right? We've got the layers of file folder that we've essentially made into a chipboard. It's about a chipboard thickness. And I guess I could have used chipboard. I do have sheets of chipboard. I do like to save them for making book covers. Plus, at the time when I was trying to decide how thick I wanted these, I felt like if I used file folder, then I could increase it to the thickness where I knew I was happy and I could stop. Whereas chipboard, it's already that thick, you know, the one thickness that it is. Now I've got to decide whether I want her to have a gold edge or not. And I don't think I do. I think I just like her the way she is. All right, let's take a look and see. Yeah. I like her. I'm trying to decide whether I want to bring her in a bit more. She's the exact width. Rats, I should have checked. Before I did all that sanding, I should have checked because I do think I want to bring her in just a smidge more. Let's measure her with this lady. Yeah, she's a little tiny bit wider. I think I'm going to take it from this side because I love her scarf. And this side of her face is in the shadow anyways. So here we go. All that work. And we're going to take maybe about, I don't know. Not you again. How fast does 10 minutes go by? There's the music. Oh, no, wait. All right, you know what? I might pause, finish this part, and then together... Wait a minute, let me make sure I'm doing the right side. I am. I'm going to pause. I'm going to finish doing this. You don't need to watch me sand it all over again, but then we'll glue her onto the cover together before I'm all done for the day. Okay. So she's good to go. I've got her a better size. Now I'm going to use the original lady because I want to reuse the holes that are already poked through the spine. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use those original holes to determine where I want these holes. I actually made her a little bit longer. Oh my goodness. What an episode today. Let's make sure that she's going to fit. Yeah, she's going to fit. Well, maybe I'll just make her her own new holes then. I won't... Oh yeah, she's a good width. That's a good size. I'm happy with that. There's equal amounts on either side. No, you know what? We're just going to make new holes. So I'm going to glue her on, and I'm going to poke new holes in, but I'm still going to use the old brads. So you know what? I think I'll just let it go here because I really feel with me, longer than 30 minutes is really unnecessary because not much changes here. So yeah, well, thanks for joining me today. Now you get to see who the new risque looking lady who's going on the cover. I feel badly for her, but we'll find something to do with her. This young lady, she's saying, oh yeah, I got to come out and play. All right, well, take care. Have a great rest of your day, and we'll talk soon. Bye.